3 that is mobile radio. 3 that is mobile radio propagation. Last chapter of your syllabus. In this we will cover the fading, uh, dispersion, attenuation, frequency, speed, wavelength, wave propagation, propagation mechanisms, and free space propagation model. And then we will cover the Doppler spread, the delay spread, the fading channels, and the modulation techniques. So first of all, we will discuss what is the relation between speed, wavelength, and frequency. So for mobile radio propagation, these three parameters are very important for the propagation of waves, for the propagation of radio waves. So here we are having a relationship between the speed, wavelength, and frequency, in which that we all know that your wavelength is given by f upon lambda. F is your frequency and lambda is your speed of light. So light speed can be given as wavelength into frequency. So wavelength is your given as 3 into 10 raised to power 8 meter per second. So speed of light is given by this value, that is 3 into 10 raised to power 8 meters per second. So depending upon the systems, we are having different frequencies and different wavelengths. Product of wavelength and frequency will be considered as speed. So like your AC current, it has 60 hertz frequency and wavelength of 5000 kilometers. In FM radio, we are having frequency 100 megahertz with a wavelength of 3 meters. For cellular system mobile technology, frequency band is 800 megahertz and wavelength is 37.5 centimeters. For satellite communication in Ka band, it is the frequency is 20 gigahertz and wavelength is 15 millimeters. And in ultraviolet UV rays transmission, the frequency is 10 raised to power 15 hertz and wavelength is 10 raised to power 7 meters. So these ranges are fixed as per the systems. Now here it is shown the various types of waves. In this diagram, we are having one device known as transmitting device. Another device is receiving device. We have earth surface and we are having various types of waves. So at upper side, we are having a satellite. So satellite is basically used for long distance communication when the transmitter and receiver both are situated distance that is far away from each other. So for the communication between these two devices that are separated very a distance away from each other, the communication is done through a satellite. Now the various types of waves that are used in communication between the transmitter and receiver through the surface of earth are, these are the ground waves, space waves and sky waves. So first is your ground wave. Ground wave lies in the troposphere region. Space waves are in stratosphere region, and the sky waves are in ionosphere and mesosphere regions of the Earth. They are having different coverage capacity. Like the ground wave covers the distance from 0 to 12 kilometers. So they are used for short range communication. The space waves covers the distance from 12 to 50 kilometers, and sky wave covers a distance from 50 to 80 kilometers and 80 to 70 kilometers in ionosphere region. So for long distance communication, sky waves are mostly used. And for short distance communication, we use the ground waves and space waves. These are the various radio frequency bands. that are used for communication for different kinds of waves. Like for ground waves, we are having a frequency bands that lies between ELF, that is extremely low frequencies, whose frequency range is less than 300 hertz. Then infra low frequency band, whose range is from 300 hertz to 3 kilohertz, and then very low frequency range that have the frequency band of 3 kilohertz to 30 kilohertz, and low frequency band whose range is from 30 kilohertz to 300 kilohertz. So these four bands are in ground wave propagation. They are used in ground wave communication for propagation of signal from these four bands. Then for next band is medium frequency band, whose range is 300 kilohertz to 3 megahertz. It is used for both ground and sky wave propagation. And then the high frequency band, whose frequency range is 3 megahertz to 30 megahertz. It is used in sky wave propagations. And then for space wave propagation, in which we will use the satellite for communication purpose, the frequency bands are starting from very high frequency VHF band to then ultra frequency band, then super high frequency band, then extremely high frequency band, and then tremendously high frequency band. So whose frequencies are given as in the very high frequency band, we have the frequency range from 30 megahertz to 300 megahertz. Likewise, the other frequency bands whose having the frequency in the gigahertz range. So these high frequency bands are used for space wave communication. Now, how these radio waves propagates? So there are the three propagation mechanisms. When your wave transmit from source side or from the transmitter side to the receiver side, then the wave will suffer these three propagation mechanisms. These three mechanisms are known as reflection, diffraction, and scattering. Reflection is basically when your wave propagates and it will have effect of objects in between the transmitting end and the receiving end. When there are objects that lies high between the transmitting and receiving devices, then the wave will be reflected back. So example is it can reflect back from the walls. Reflection can occur through walls, through buildings, and through the surface of earth. The next mechanism is about diffraction, in which the radio path between the transmitter and receiver is obstructed by the surface with the sharp, irregular edges. So in which in diffraction the wave will bend around the obstacle, and there is a line of sight that will be very affected. So there is a no line of sight communication between the transmitting end and the receiving end due to the bending of waves. So bending of waves is considered as diffraction. The third phenomena is scattering, in which the wave will get scattered. The wavelengths will be scattered from the object. So when the smaller objects will come around the transmitting waves, the propagation waves, then the wavelengths of the propagating wave get scattered. So these occurs due to the street signs, the lamp posts, the small objects that will come around with the propagations, wave propagations. So here these effects are shown, how the signals are will feel the propagation effects. So you will see here we are having the transmitting antenna known as your BTS, base transceiver stations, with a specific height, and then we are having receivers. The receiver can be any moving device, so your mobile device which is moving. So now your signal will experience the propagation effects when the signal will obstructed by large buildings, when the transmitter and receiver will have large buildings in between the signal propagation path, then the signal get reflected. And when we are having smaller objects, then the signal gets diffracted. And when there is no object lies in between the transmitting and receiving devices, then there is a direct signal propagation from the transmitter to the receiver. So that path is known as line of sight or direct signal transmission. Is it clear to everyone how the signal will have the propagation effects, the radio signals, how these signals can reflected, diffracted and scattered? Clear? How the propagation of wave will have different propagation effects. सबको समझ आ गया what is reflected signal, what is diffracted signal, and what is direct signal? Okay. So now based on these propagation effects, we will have one equation known as free space propagation. So in which we will consider the received power signal strength at a particular distance d. So you will see in this diagram that we are having one transmitter and one receiver, that is the receiving device mobile. The transmitter and receiver both are separated with a particular distance d. Now the received signal strength at the receiver side can be measured at distance d with this formula. Yes, please. Of the signal received that can be measured at the receiver side with the distance d between the transmitter and receiver. It is the received signal strength PR. It is given as the formula by free space propagation equation, that is AE into GT into PT divided by 4 pi d square, where PR is the received power, the signal strength at the receiver side. So PR is the received side and PT is the transmitting power at the transmitter side. AE is the effective area. GT is the transmitting antenna gain. D is the distance between the transmitter and the receiver. So the free space propagation equation is given in terms of received signal strength part. So this equation assumes that the radiated part is uniformly distributed over the surface of the sphere. So now we will consider the antenna gain. Let us suppose that we are having a circular reflector antenna. The gain for that antenna can be defined as G, and it is given by eta times the pi d divided by lambda square, where eta is the net efficiency that will depend upon the electric field distribution over the antenna aperture, its losses and the heating losses. D is the diameter and G is given as by equation eta into pi d f divided by c square, where c is your speed of light, that is given as lambda times the frequency. So when you will given with the parameters of this diameter, frequency and wavelength, then you can easily get the antenna gain. So similarly, you can measure the received signal part in terms of these signal strengths like GT. Received signal part is given by GT, GR, PT divided by L, where PR is your received signal, GR is the receiver antenna gain, GT is the transmitting antenna gain, and L is the propagation path loss in the channel. So these path loss will be the contribution of three path losses, like the signal strength due to fast fading, the strength of the loss of signal due to fast fading, loss of signal due to slow fading, and for the path loss, LP. So for land propagation, you can measure the received signal strength by use of this formula. So this is according to your free space propagation model. You will have the formula for received part given by this AE GT PT upon 4 pi d square. Then we have antenna gain. for the reflector antenna, and then we are having the received signal power during land propagation, that is given by this formula GT GR PT upon L, where GT is your transmitting gain, GR is receiving antenna gain, and PT is transmitted power, and L is your propagation path loss in the channel due to different types of fading, like fast fading, slow fading, and for path loss. So now we will define the path loss LP in the free space propagation model. It is given as LP is equal to ratio of transmitted power PT with the received power PR. So this is the standard equation that is provided for radio communication in the free space propagation. Path loss LPF in terms of decibel is given by the factor 32.45. This is the coefficient value plus 20 log 10 FC, that is the carrier frequency provided, plus 20 log 10 D, that is the distance between the transmitter side and the receiver side. FC is your carrier frequency, and it shows greater carrier frequencies when the path loss is more. You can also have the path loss formula in terms of land propagation during the ground wave propagation. So it is given by A D raised to the power minus alpha, where A and alpha are the propagation constants. D is the distance between the transmitter and receiver. Mostly the value of this alpha lies between 3 to 4 for urban areas. This is the constant value. Here we will see how the path loss occurs in free space model at different carrier frequencies. So as the distance will be increased from the transmitting end to the receiving end, similarly the path loss factor in terms of decibel will be increased. So here we will see in the different carrier frequencies we are having different path loss component in the free space propagation model. So here we are having the carrier frequency like 150 megahertz, 200 megahertz, 400 megahertz, 800 megahertz, and depending upon that, the distance between the 0 to 5 kilometers, 0 to 10 kilometers, and up to 30 kilometers, the path loss will be increased exponentially. Yes, is it clear up to now? सबको समझ आ रहा है यहाँ तक? हाँ जी बच्चे, यहाँ तक समझ आ गया सबको?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So for the urban area, the suburban area, and for the open area, the path loss equation will be different. So here we have the path loss equation for urban area. So these are the standard equations for urban area, suburban area, and the open areas. Path loss is in decreasing order in urban area having the large capacity, in urban area having the medium and small cities, and suburban having the lesser capacity, and the open area. These are given with the different carrier frequencies. So these are the path loss for urban area in which we will consider the large cities. So as the carrier frequencies increased beyond 200 megahertz to 400 megahertz to 800 megahertz to 1000 megahertz, the path loss between the transmitting and receiving sites with the covering of distance will be increased. So here is the graph for the medium and small cities. How with the different carrier frequencies and with the distance, the path loss will be increased. So here the distance is maximum up to 30 kilometers. for small and medium cities. So this graph is between these, and then we are having the graph between suburban areas. Now, next is about fading. Fading is basically the signal degradation due to multiple path losses. ठीक है, अब जो मैंने अभी आपको डिस्कस किया है, that we are having buildings, obstacles, small buildings, large buildings, mountains, hills. So these are the obstacles between the transmitting and the receiving signals. So when the signal is transmitted from the transmitting sites, then if there are large buildings, the large tower buildings, the huge mountains, okay, so due to these, the signals will be get reflected, scattered, or dispersed. So these, due to these three phenomena, the fading effect will occur. Means you will have at the receiver side the low signal strength due to these fading effects. So you can describe the fading in terms of the different path loss components. So depending upon that, the signal strength will be degraded at the receiving side due to varying path losses, as the distance will be covered from the transmitting side to the receiving side, and it will experience some obstacles in between them. So depending upon that, we will classify the fading as fast fading, or you can say the short-term fading effect, and slow fading, that is the long-term fading effect. So firstly, we will discuss the slow fading. Slow fading is basically termed as long-term fading effects. So these long-term variations in the average level or the mean level is known as slow fading. This occurs due to shadowing effect. So here we will have a received signal strength formula for long normal distribution that is considered for slow fading. So it is given as 1 upon square root of 2 pi sigma exponential raised to the power minus m bar square divided by 2 of sigma square, where the factor m is the true received signal level, small m in decibels. It is given as 10 log 10 m. M is the area, the average signal strength in that particular area, and sigma is your standard deviation in decibels. So this equation is basically used for slow fading effect calculation. This slow fading effect will remain for long terms to the signal. This is the received signal strength in long normal distribution. This is the power density spectrum for the received signal under this formula. This is known as log normal distribution formula. So this is the waveform for that formula. Next is about fast fading. Now in fast fading, the signal from the transmitter may be reflected from objects such as hills, buildings, or vehicles. So when your signal experiences these three things, hills, buildings, and vehicles, then it will have low signal strength at the receiving side. So when the mobile station is far away from the base station, the received signal strength is described by the Rayleigh distribution formula. So this is the received signal in terms of Rayleigh distribution, the power spectral density function in terms of Rayleigh distribution. It is given by R divided by sigma square e raised to power minus R square upon 2 sigma square for R greater than 0, where R is your received signal, PR is your power received power signal strength, sigma is standard deviation. This is the fixed formula for fast fading, and this is the fixed formula for slow fading. These two formulas are used for numerical calculations in when you will measure the signal strength in terms of slow fading and fast fading. So when you will measure the signal strength for slow fading effect, then you will use this formula that is known as log normal distribution. And when you will calculate the received signal strength in terms of fast fading effect, then you will consider the formula of Rayleigh distribution. You will consider this formula. So this is the waveform when your power spectral densities will vary with the standard deviation. So when you will put standard deviation value 1, 2, and 3 into this formula with the other parameters like the received radius of the received signal, and power received strength, then you will have this kind of Rayleigh distribution in terms of its graph between the received signal and the radius of your envelope. This formula is used when your mobile station is far away from the base station. Okay. Now next is when your mobile station is far from base station, it can also be described in terms of Russian distribution. Previous was the Rayleigh distribution. Now it is Russian distribution. And this is the formula for Russian distribution of received power signal strength. It is given by R divided by sigma square e raised to power minus R square plus alpha square divided by 2 sigma square I naught times R alpha upon sigma for R greater than values 0. Where as such R is your radius, sigma is your standard deviation, and alpha is a constant value that will describe the amplitude of the direct signal. You have to learn these formulas of fast fading and slow fading. Now these are the waveforms when your alpha has the values 0, 1, 2, and 3 with the sigma standard deviation as 1. These are the waveforms for received signal strength with these alpha and sigma values. When you will put this alpha 0, 1, 2, 3 into these equations, then you will get these waveforms. Now we are having alpha, the instantaneous amplitude. Instantaneous amplitude means the varying nature of amplitude of the signal. As the distance vary, the strength of the amplitude will vary. So it is given by these parameters like the level crossing rate, when the average number of times per second the signal will crosses the level in positive going direction. Next parameter is fading rate, in which the number of times the signal crosses the middle value in positive going direction per unit time. Third parameter is depth of fading, that is the ratio of mean square value and the minimum value of fading signal. And fourth is fading duration, that is the time for which the signal is below the level of threshold value. This is all about signal fading, the slow fading and the fast fading phenomenon. क्लियर है? यहाँ तक समझ आ रहा है सबको? जस्ट आपने फॉर्मूलाज और डेफिनेशंस लर्न करनी है इसमें, दैट्स इट. हाँ जी बच्चे, यहाँ तक क्लियर है सभी को?
यस मैम.
ओके. नेक्स्ट इज अबाउट डॉपलर शिफ्ट. डॉपलर शिफ्ट आपने आई थिंक फिजिक्स में भी पढ़ा होगा. आइडिया है किसी को रिगार्डिंग डॉपलर शिफ्ट, डॉपलर इफेक्ट? यस, डॉपलर इफेक्ट याद है? फिजिक्स में सबने पढ़ा हुआ है.
नहीं मैम।
नहीं पढ़ा हुआ, याद नहीं है? ओके
नहीं।
ओके, I'll repeat. So Doppler shift is basically based on Doppler effect. Doppler effect is basically when a waveform from the source side and the receiver sides both are moving towards each other, then the frequency of the received signal will not be same as the source. When they are moving towards each other, the frequency of the received signal is higher than the source, and when they are moving away from each other, then the frequency will be decreased. ठीक है, आप इस फिनोमिना को ट्रेन इफेक्ट के साथ ऑब्जर्व कर सकते हो। ठीक है, आप ऑब्जर्व करोगे जैसे ही ट्रेन विल मूविंग टुवर्ड्स द स्टेशन साइड, ठीक है, इट विल बीप द सिग्नल एंड द फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑफ दैट सिग्नल इज मोर, you will hear the louder sound. ठीक है, and whenever the train will crosses the station, it will have the slower sound effect. ठीक है, means the frequency of the received signal will be slow and you will hear the low sound. ठीक है, so that effect is considered here as a Doppler shift. So when the signals are moving towards each other, the transmitting signals and the receiving signals both are close to each other, then they have the large signal strength, and when the transmitting and receiving stations are far away from each other, then they have low signal strength. So in terms of frequency, we can say that when the transmitters and the receivers are close to each other, then the frequency of the received signal is higher than the source, and when they are a distance away from each other, then the frequency of the received signal will be decreased. So this is the basically your Doppler shift effect. अब यहाँ पर आप डायग्राम में देखो, you have a signal that is transmitting towards the mobile station. When the signal from the transmitting side is closer to the mobile station, then the frequency of the received signal is more, and when the signal is coming from very far distance to the mobile station, then the received signal strength is low. The frequency of the received signal is low. So this effect is known as Doppler shift effect, and it is related with this signal equation. The frequency of the received signal strength Fr is equal to Fc minus Fd. Fc is the frequency of the source carrier and Fd is the frequency of the Doppler frequency. So it will consider the Doppler shift. The Doppler frequency will consider the Doppler shift Fd, which is given as V upon lambda cos theta, where V is the velocity and lambda is the wavelength of the carrier signal. So this is all about Doppler shift. Next is about delay spread. When a signal propagates from a transmitter to a receiver, then signal suffers one or more reflections. This will force the signal to follow different paths, and each path has different path length, so the time of arrival of each path is different. This effect, which spreads out the signal, is known as delay spread. Fine. So in a simple way, we can say that in delay spread, when we are having multiple signals that are transmitted from the transmitting side, they will be reached at the destination or receiver side with a different delays. ठीक है, जैसे अगर सपोज आपने ट्रांसमीटर साइड से आपने 4 सिग्नल ट्रांसमिट किए, ठीक है, तो जब वो 4 सिग्नल्स रिसीवर साइड पर पहुंचेंगे, ठीक है, तो वो सेम टाइम पर नहीं पहुंचेंगे, वो डिफरेंट टाइम पर पहुंचेंगे. दे विल एक्सपीरियंस डिफरेंट डिलेज. ठीक है, वो डिफरेंट डिलेज क्यों है? वो डिफरेंट डिलेज हैं ड्यू टू द डिफरेंट पाथ्स फॉलोड बाय द ट्रांसमिटिंग सिग्नल्स. ठीक है, क्योंकि अब हम अपना सिग्नल जो ट्रांसमिट कर रहे हैं वो हम थ्रू RF वेव्स कर रहे हैं, थ्रू रेडियो वेव्स कर रहे हैं, थ्रू फ्री स्पेस कर रहे हैं. ठीक है, थ्रू एयर आपके सिग्नल ट्रेवल हो रहे हैं. जब आपके सिग्नल थ्रू एयर ट्रेवल होते हैं, थ्रू रेडियो फ्रीक्वेंसी वेव के थ्रू ट्रेवल होते हैं, तो वो अपना अपना डिफरेंट पाथ चूज कर रहे हैं, करते हैं टू रीच एट देयर डेस्टिनेशन पॉइंट। ठीक है, वो कोई पर्टिकुलर फिक्स्ड पाथ से ट्रेवल नहीं करते, वो डिफरेंट पाथ से ट्रेवल करते हैं। तो जब वो सिग्नल डिफरेंट पाथ से ट्रेवल करेंगे तो वो उनकी जो पाथ है उनमें डिफरेंट ऑब्स्टेकल्स आएंगे। ठीक है, कुछ सिग्नल होंगे जिनके पाथ में लार्ज बिल्डिंग्स आएंगी, कुछ सिग्नल्स हैं जो डायरेक्ट विदाउट ऑब्स्टेकल पहुंचेंगे रिसीवर साइड पे। ठीक है, कुछ सिग्नल है जो जिनके पाथ में कुछ माउंटेन्स आएंगी। ठीक है, तो they will experience different path lengths due to these obstacles, and they will arrive at different times at the receiving sites. So that thing is known as the delay spread. So delay spread is that when the signal will experience different path lengths and they will arrive at the different time at the receiving sites, and they will experience different reflections from the transmitting to the receiving sites. So they will experience the different delays. So here it is combinedly known as the delay spread. ठीक है, समझ आया what is delay spread? These two definitions are important, delay spread and the Doppler shift. एग्जाम्स में मोस्टली ये आ जाती है, what is delay spread, explain Doppler shift in 5 marks. तो अगर यहाँ पे आपको किसी को कोई डाउट है तो आप पूछ सकते हो। यस, डॉपलर शिफ्ट समझ आ गया सबको, व्हाट इज डॉपलर शिफ्ट?
जी मैम।
एंड व्हाट इज डिले स्प्रेड? क्लियर है?
यस मैम।
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है, तो पेपर में जो आपके क्वेश्चंस आते हैं रिलेटेड टू दीज टॉपिक्स, दे आर लाइक एक्सप्लेन डॉपलर शिफ्ट इन डिटेल, एक्सप्लेन डिले स्प्रेड, व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन फास्ट फेडिंग एंड स्लो फेडिंग। ठीक है, तो फास्ट फेडिंग और स्लो फेडिंग के डिफरेंस में आपने पहले तो दोनों की डेफिनेशन बतानी है, फिर उन दोनों के फॉर्मूलास बताने हैं। फास्ट फेडिंग में कौन से आप फॉर्मूला यूज कर रहे हो रिसीव्ड सिग्नल के, और स्लो फेडिंग में आप कौन से यूज कर रहे हो। ठीक है, और फिर उनके रिस्पेक्टिव वेव फॉर्म्स। इस तरह से आपने क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट करने होते हैं। ठीक है, कर लोगे अटेम्प्ट?
यस मैम।
ठीक है, तो आज हम यहीं तक कवर करेंगे, बाकी हम कल कवर करेंगे।